South Africa has a critical opportunity to rebuild the economy and employ young people at the same time. The technology industry is the sector that can boost our recovery strategy as the country concentrates on new digital capabilities. Youth unemployment is a well-known source of pain, with 74% of those between the ages of 15 and 24 without work. Given the tech opportunity, how do we create the right conditions for more youth to embrace AI and tech, to problem solve, and to be productive and to take back their dignity? One company has thoughts on how. Julie Tregurtha is the Area Vice President for Middle East and Africa at Coupa Software. Coupa Software looks at ways that companies can save on the way they transact, to manage their inventories better, and to be smarter about how they purchase and where they can lower costs. Julie, good evening and welcome. Thank you very much for your time this evening. The work that you do at Coupa obviously involves cutting-edge technologies. How do you stay ahead of the game and, in fact, lead the game?
Good evening. With Coupa being a global NASDAQ-listed software company, we obviously work very hard at trying to maintain the technology to live up to the latest trends and what companies and organizations need in order to be able to really get value. We really are in an information technology era. You know, the industrial era is now way behind us, and with technology at the heart of everything we do, whether we shop, learn, you know, the way we educate ourselves, socialize, communicate, and also how we found our voice. Technology really is a critical part of our lives, and with that, the demand for digital skills is at a pinnacle. So, yeah, at Coupa, I think really it's trying to bring these together, help organizations leverage technology to be able to really kind of get more value and process their procurement in a smarter way, get more digital, and at the same time, you know, we obviously want to try and find ways to boost productivity.
Yeah. You mentioned something really key there, which is around the need for digital skills, particularly in an economy like ours. And when you stack that up against the high levels of youth unemployment in particular, and young people generally are more adaptable, tend to be more agile, more, more risk-taking in terms of new innovations and trying things out. What opportunity does a changing world of work, the sort of, you know, the glut of, in a way, the glut of new technologies in the space, what opportunities does all of this read together provide for young people in South Africa to find work and to be a part of that?
I believe there's an enormous opportunity. I've been in the information technology my entire career, and what I have seen time and again is this significant gap between, you know, the skills that are actually required by companies in order to embrace technology solutions that are available like Coupa and many others, and what's really available on the ground. And this is, as you say, this is on the one spectrum, this incredible demand. I mean, I've seen so many IT projects that are resourced from India and China and the United States and different countries in Europe because we simply do not have the skills in South Africa. And you plot that against the other spectrum, which you alluded to, this 74% youth unemployment. That is what we talk about as the talent gap. And I mean, I really believe that that's where the opportunity lies. There's opportunity, no doubt. And it's about trying to find a way to build those skills so that we can actually service up those opportunities locally out of South African people rather than having to rely on global skills.
And I see it as well, you know, in the work that we do and the work that's been done in South Africa, that often we need to outsource because we don't have a ready arsenal or a ready inventory of human resource skills to deploy. But if you're talking then to a young girl in Wentworth in Durban, or a young man in Tembisa, or, you know, kids anywhere in that age group who are sitting at home listening to Julie saying there's so many opportunities, we need, yet they're kept outside of, you know, the arena of opportunity. How do they get in?
I think it's obviously a very, you know, multi-pronged approach that's got to be embraced. We need people in this industry who have the willingness to learn, that want to embrace an opportunity, that have the right attitude and aptitude, that are ambitious, and that have a good work ethic. I think from a Coupa perspective, what, you know, us and our partners would be looking for from a skills development standpoint would be people who ideally have some kind of foundation. They've got a a degree or diploma in informatics, business, finance, something like that, that we can then build the necessary digital skills or the niche specialist skills that we would need on top of that. The other point is I think there is an immense, still widening gap actually from a gender perspective in the information technology sector. And it's actually quite scary, the statistics, that even globally today, only 1 in 5 women work in the information technology sector, and that's a global stat. So I think the other responsibility we as organizations like mine and ours and myself have is to try and attract more women into this industry.
What's the inhibiting factor?
I think women often have just seen it as a more, male-dominated industry. Perhaps the core kind of subjects that you would need to have, like science or maths, or maybe some of those don't appeal as much to women. But I mean, there is absolutely no reason why not. And I really feel strongly that women should be embracing STEM subjects. They should be looking for opportunities in this industry. We need to provide more mentorship programs and, find ways to bring women in. There's proof that, women diversity in any organization results in more profitable and more successful businesses. And
without a doubt,
we need to aid that as well.
So when you talked about the need in the industry and in the market for people already with foundational skills and perhaps even undergrad degrees, and they have the undergrad degrees or some literacy in the space that is a little more sophisticated. That's one thing. But we are sitting with the band just, beneath. Is there anything for that band just beneath who might have finished matric, might have done a year or two at TVET, but kind of languishing in that space around coding? We often hear that coding, okay, 6 weeks course, for coding or for different digital, skills within the tech sector and environment. Share some awareness. It may not be exactly what Coupa's doing, but share some awareness around what you understand exists in the space to bring people at least up to that level.
There are programs and there are organizations that are doing things, both on the non-profit side as well as corporate sponsored. I think you're right in that it actually this starts at school level, where that's where we really need to bring sort of, maybe not primary school, but certainly at a high school level, we need to start bringing these kinds of basic coding and just the sensibility around digital into those curriculums. That would be really ideal. There are organizations such as the Women in Tech Forum. It's a global forum. There is a local South African chapter. I'm a member of that from a board perspective. And I think that, if you have a look at the good that they're doing, they're really an engine that's trying to bring technology to communities and build digital skills. And an example is in 2021, they opened a community center in a township in Cape Town, where they're really making available internet access just for the purpose of doing homework or research projects to children, but also teaching basic coding skills, mentorship programs, as mentioned. So, there are these types of opportunities do exist. There are these programs. People need to just look for them. And I think that, there is, as I said, if you've got the right ability to learn, and or the desire and appetite to learn, I think there are opportunities that do can be leveraged.
Well, let's talk then about what you said exists at Coupa Software, for example, for people who have that foundational skill and aptitude and ability in place already to be able to come on board and be a part of something that you're doing that elevates their skills even further. How do they access that, especially young women? How do they access that?
So we are a growing business. We definitely have a big mandate to grow our business across Africa as well as the Middle East. And in fact, the skills shortage is not a problem that is only local to South Africa. It actually exists across Africa as well. So for me, we've got standard programs around enablement and education services. And those kind of exist today in our business. And what we're trying to do is wrap that into a more sort of deliberate skills development initiative together with our partners. We know we can't do this alone. It always takes a village and it takes an ecosystem. So we will rely on partnership with our partners as well as our customers to do this. But I mean, I do really hope that we can, find the opportunity, bring more graduates into our community, build those skills that are needed. And as we grow, what I'd really like to see is that we have a pool of resources that we have available to pull on here to leverage and get the work done, rather than having to rely on global skills. And then I almost see even a reverse opportunity exist, is that the more we could build up a pool of resources here, these people could be marketable and used to help furnish other projects that might exist in other parts of Africa, the Middle East, or even
Exactly.
further.
I mean, imagine if South Africa becomes the new sort of tech skill hub in the world, and people see those job opportunities, anywhere. We're living in a world where, it's a kind of nomad economy. You can literally you can set up roots in any country in the world if you have the right skills. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, and appreciate your time this evening. That was Coupa Software Area Vice President in the Middle East and Africa, Julie Tregurtha.